What's up, dudes and dudettes of the internet? My name's Scythe, and we are back again for some more Astroneer, the final frontier. How y'all doing today, folks? Hope you're doing fantastically wonderful. Hope this video makes your day even better. Before we get started, we'd very much appreciate if you would hit that like button. Thank you so much if you do. Now, without further ado, I've been busy. Like, seriously, I've been exploring this cave. I want to share that experience with all of you today. And also trying desperately to grind up our resources. Got some aluminum here and a couple more copper, but honestly speaking, not as much aluminum as I'd hoped. Most of this is just all copper ore right here. Have absolutely not found any aluminum, which sucks because I'm really wanting to get ourselves a vehicle today. That is the all-time goal. However, I kind of ended up constructing this nice little base down here, and also ended up going insane with the amount of items to research. I also ended up learning a couple more things that we are definitely going to end up talking about today. Storage? Did we seriously not have storage this entire time? I thought that we did. Like, seriously, I didn't know that was a thing that you actually had to get with blueprints. Now, this thing right here, although it looks really, really weird, from what I hear, you can actually throw this on front of a truck, or at least that's what somebody ended up telling me, or a rover, and actually using it to emit light off of the vehicle. I don't know about that, we'll have to see, but otherwise, unfortunately, as you can see, we do not have enough power right now to actually research the rest of these. So, what I'm gonna do, shift click is a thing. Thank you, Critter, for telling me about that, because I didn't know. That's insane. But I'm going to grab a bunch of these resources, only a little bit of them, though, and try to get things a little bit more organized, because we don't have any resin down here, which we definitely need, because I want to make a 3D printer and get some storage units down here. Like, seriously, that is the biggest thing. Also, I actually knew about this for a while. I just want to explain this before I go up to the surface and take my trip all the way back out. I guess I can start doing it now, while I'm explaining it. But, hashtag confirm, drops that you find out in the world respawn for some reason. So that's a nice way of getting an infinite resource like copper or resin right here that we could end up getting. Also, even though it says our backpack is full, we can still grab it and put it on the sides like that. I don't want that dynamite, that's okay. But, I ended up figuring out how the flattening tool works. So it might be a little difficult for me to explain here, but you see how there's kind of a different slant on like 5,000 different blocks right here, right? So long as we end up hovering our mouse over one of these slants, like this one right here that's a flat, sideways horizontal angle, right? If we hold control, everything that we draw from that point is going to try and be shaped to the block that we selected. You know what I mean? So hopefully that made sense to all of you as far as the explanation is concerned. And I guess I can show you. Here's just our standard exit. You know, it's not like it takes a long time to get out or anything like that, but trying to bring all those resources all the way back out, especially without a vehicle, is just no bueno, man. No way are we gonna end up doing that. But I want to definitely try and get enough aluminum, whoopsie daisy, that we can craft ourselves this truck right here, because I've seen what that thing is capable of as well, and it sure is beautiful. Let's actually see, how much aluminum do we have? These are all copper? Seriously? Well, we got a little bit of titanium and a little bit of resin, but not really that much. Ooh, oh my goodness. And also, I do want to hashtag confirm, where's our smeltery? Where is our smeltery? I do want to confirm that if you end up smelting, this was the smeltery right here already. If you end up using a smeltery and having like 4 pieces of ore, it is going to end up going onto your storage unit, so that's very, very handy. Let me actually move these over to a different spot here, because even though that's definitely useful, as far as smelting is concerned, we don't need that much juice, and it's going to end up taking from the other thing here anyway. Now, I also found out how this trading thing works. Thank you to Max for that one. So the way it's going to work is you're going to put on the resource that you want to trade. So we're trading organics right here, right? And then we're going to pick and choose the resource that we want to trade, like get back in exchange, right? So what we were actually doing was the last last thing that I ended up shipping out to space, I guess I chose organic without knowing. But otherwise, we could change, you know, one organic into compound. Nope, it's not actually going to yield one at all. So it's probably going to be a very expensive as far as the resource is concerned, actually, because especially when you take a look at the like the organics, it's definitely not going to, yeah, see, so one compound for 2 organics. Pretty good trade, I guess. Resin, organic, hydrazide, which is fuel. Rip, not gonna be able to get that. Laterite, which I think that's a better fuel. Honestly, I don't know because I've never seen that before. Malachite's just copper. Aluminum, now we're talking, because we can start trading some of our copper for this, actually, because we're swimming in copper as far as our resources are concerned. But as you can see, it's pretty expensive. You know, we gotta trade 2 copper to yield 1 aluminum. That's pretty nuts. And then we could trade just 4 raw copper, raw lithium. Oh, really? That's kind of strange. Raw coal, titanium, compound. So I guess some of these are just a resource, while other ones you're going to actually trade for the specification, like the specific thing, right? So I guess that's good, and I will actually trade a couple extra copper here, because even though we are going to definitely need some copper, like we really are going to need copper, because of the cranes and all those crazy things that we want to build on our vehicles, which that is where the crane actually comes from. But needless to say, aluminum, you know, and building a vehicle is the top priority. That is the main thing right now, because it's going to end up making things a lot easier for me, because we'll be able to go down there and, you know, just kind of build stuff like a crazy person, right? So what I gotta do now is try and sort out our inventory here. I know I gotta get us enough extra resin that I can build. Let's just say that this would be going towards the smeltery that we could end up building down there, just so that we can forge the resources right then and there. But most of all, oh, our ship already returned. Nice. Most of all, I need a way of transporting all this stuff. Like, that's the big thing, right? I need power down there as well, is the other huge thing. So another thing that we can end up doing, I experimented with this off camera on another file, is that vehicles kind of operate the same as a battery. So we could actually take a fully charged vehicle down to our base in the caves, and we could actually use that vehicle to emit power. We can also end up attaching it through the tethers as well. Apparently the tethers, you can use them kind of to emit a power source, but it has to connect to a very specific type of block or something. Honestly speaking, folks, I'm not exactly sure about that one. Also, the spaceship that we ended up getting is in fact a bigger, well, spaceship, right? So here we go. The truck pretty much has like this many slots, while the rover ends up only having just the one, right? And of course, you can end up adding more seats if you're playing on a multiplayer or something, but you can see our battery is being drained to actually recharge the vehicle bay right here. But we could actually construct one seat, construct a 3-seater so that we could use it for transport, a crane, which I'm interested in the crane, but I will give a heads up that one of the things that I don't necessarily like is that in order to, like, the crane is actually a different type of item. It is going to be constructed permanently onto this vehicle. So I'm a little bit reluctant to use the crane until I've experimented with it a little bit more off camera, hopefully, because otherwise, yeah, it's a bit confusing for me. Now, storage. Now, this is really cool, because this is going to be more storage than we could normally get, right? Like, we would be able to have, like, each of these slots, I think, is going to, oh, actually, there's going to be 2, 4, 6, 8. Or we could just put a smaller storage unit that's going to take less space. Well, actually, it's going to take the same amount of space, so never mind. But then there's other blueprints that you can get out of these things, too. The other thing that I did want to double check, I don't think we ended up coming across that, though. But I did notice that, yeah, so there's the Wench, which the Wench, as far as I've heard, is very weird in the way that it operates. We'll actually make one of those right now because I want to experiment with it, and we do actually have the extra titanium to construct one of these. And I want to see how this thing operates, because if it sucks, I mean, we can just leave it on the ground, right? That's the one thing that's advantageous about this. The other thing too is I'm really hoping that I can actually get myself out of the cave, because otherwise, rip, we're gonna end up getting stuck. Now the thing with the Wench is you can actually attach it to the front of the vehicle rather than just to the other side, right? Oh, I see. So you can use it to attach to something. And then what? And then how do we end up actually using the Wench? Oh, it's just automatically gonna pull us towards it? Yeah, I guess so. So we could actually use that to pull ourselves out of a bind. I see. That's pretty cool. That's actually really cool. We could use that to go up hills and stuff like that. Okay, now we're talking. I like that. I'm gonna leave most of these slots open though, so that we can actually bring ourselves some power and stuff like that. So I'm gonna get things a little bit more in order before we do any more of the craziness. Well, that's okay. Let's take the vehicle just so I can kind of show you how this works, although I'm sure most of you watching at home already know how the vehicle works. It's pretty much like the Warthog from the Halo games, where it kind of like jerks around a lot, and whatever direction you're facing is gonna end up kind of being where it ends up driving. So if I would turn the camera around right now, we would actually start driving backwards, right? Oh my goodness, be careful. Careful. I'm really happy that this road ended up working out. And the thing too is, while we're sliding down the hill like that, we're also conserving power, which is very important. And unfortunately, I do not think we're going to have enough juice to get ourselves back out of here, unfortunately. But at the least, we should be able to kind of experiment with some of this other stuff here. I want to see if this actually is used as a light source on the vehicle. Oh, cool, it is. Okay, that's neat. I like that. But then on top of that, there's all these different things that I want to definitely end up researching. Some of them are a little bit more crazier than others that I ended up finding. You know, I ended up doing a bit of the caving off camera because I was mostly trying to get our aluminum up. Unfortunately, I didn't end up doing that. I mostly just found all these resources. So the way that these ended up working is kind of quite near to our base. I ended up going to, there was a place where I ended up going very deep into the caves, and then ended up just finding one of the resources. Not to mention, a lot of them are actually way up ahead, I ended up finding. Okay, so let me just... let's put one resin on here, and then let's also get this out of the way here so that I can end up plopping this one out, because we're going to end up needing to use that, use this side one right here as a station. Now, we could either use this for smelting, which, as you can see too, our truck is actually kind of connecting to the generator right here, or the smelter right here, because we could actually drain power from our vehicle to actually put it into the deposit it kind of into it, right? Now the vehicle also is going to end up actually operating as a save point. Oh my, that's kind of weird. Our battery ended up going just a little bit down. But anyway, yeah, we could end up getting a 3D printer, which is not something we need down here. Fuel, no. Research, most definitely, but we don't have the compound. Smelter, most definitely. We actually have a researcher over there, so rip me. But the smeltery, yes, definitely. Vehicle bay, that's okay. We got that. Trade platform, that's okay. Yeah, so it looks like most of all, we're going to want the smeltery, which means I'm going to have to go and get some more compound. Now, the other thing, too, that I want to end up doing before we head up to the surface, I should have brought some organics down here so that we could have scanned more of these. But I want to put our batteries down in here because we're not actually using them right now. We're actually not using our oxygen right now either, so we don't really need that. But, oh, I also forgot I did end up finding some coal. I found that just kind of deep into the caves. It was one of the things that I ended up researching gave it. Or maybe I did that on camera, actually. I think I did. But yeah, needless to say, we're going to have to make ourselves another generator. So what did that actually cost? That cost copper. So I'm going to take one of these up with us so that I can get a generator, and then I'm going to have to bring a whole bunch of organics down. Now, before I end up making another big cut, I want to kind of experience this with all of you, see whether or not we have enough power that we can get out of here. Also experience this with all of you and see whether or not this is actually a thing. You know, is our road actually going to end up working to get us out of here? It's a little bit steep, so it might not. You know, we might have a little bit of trouble. We seem to be having a lot of trouble with it right now, especially because of the Wench here, which hopefully we can actually use this effectively. I want to see if this is just, is it as simple as that? Where the Wench is just going to end up pulling us in that direction? Yeah, it kind of is. And then it's going to end up detaching, right? Because that's the thing, is unfortunately, as we're driving up this hill, that kind of sucks. But as we're driving up the hill and failing, I might add, we're actually draining tons and tons of power from this vehicle. So I guess I'm going to try my best to make this a more slanted path that we can hopefully end up taking. But, I mean, as you can see also, the slant tool, like the flattening tool, it's a little bit stupid. It doesn't work as well as you'd think it does. All right, I tried to make the road a little bit more flat. Hopefully this ends up actually working. Oh, great. I'm getting stuck right at the beginning. Isn't that wonderful? I think it's actually the stupid winches ends up getting in the way of our vehicle. Let's find out. Yes, it actually is. Okay, rip. Well, that definitely made it a lot easier. And I know that this thing does definitely have enough power to get up these hills. But is it going to? That's the real question, especially because we're running really, really low on power. Can we actually make it up to the next phase? Oh, perfect. Okay, so that's a little bit more what I'm talking about. Good. Now then, let's smelt the malachite so that we can end up getting ourselves a nice, beautiful piece of copper that we can then use to get ourselves a generator, which we can then use that on our vehicle. Isn't that cool? Now, the other thing, too, that will actually be useful now, that winch is so gross, isn't it? Is, no, not the solar panel, not the storage. Even though the storage is beautiful, you actually can't store, you can only store small things on the storage, not any of the bigger materials. That is why you would get a storage unit on the back of a vehicle, because the trade-off, even though it technically is the same amount of storage space that you're going to end up getting from these smaller storage units, you're going to be able to store more of these bad boys on it. So, for example, you know, if we put the bigger storage unit on the back of our truck, that's going to take 2 slots, but we're going to gain 2 extra slots for bigger things anyways. For smaller storage, these are definitely more efficient. I like how this game operates. Drill head. That I'm interested in. That I really want to see what that does, because I think that's going to be a drill that's going to work on the front of our vehicle. So I'm going to try and make one of those. We should also try and make, hopefully, do we actually have enough extra lithium on hand? Yes, we definitely do. I'm going to actually create a big, beautiful, fat battery right here that we can use just for some excess storage for most of our machinery up here. And then otherwise, I was actually going to be looking at the bigger generator that we can end up printing up. Because, yeah, so this is going to take copper as well. Because we've got one piece of coal that we could technically end up using, and I'm sure that would end up generating a lot of power. But needless to say, the drill is the big one that I want to try and construct today, for sure. But while I'm actually gathering a bunch of organics and stuff, I almost forgot. I brought all of these up here, so let's start researching them while I'm just kind of gathering all these plants. See if we can end up getting something worthwhile. We got some copper, so that's not bad. And then what do we end up getting out of this one right here? Hopefully we just get more copper's fine. I'll take it. You know, we can use that. Oh, but that actually sounds like it's a blueprint. What do we get? What do we get? What do we get? No, what did we get? I bet you anything that we just ended up generating one of the like a duplicate blueprint, didn't we? That's probably how it operates, isn't it? where it's just not going to give it to you. Well, that's a little bit disappointing. It can't be because I wasn't looking at it, and then we got some extra fuel, which is gonna help out when we go off-world, or even when we start using a ship to kind of hop from spot to spot, you know? Okay, let's see right here. So we can get this extra organics. We don't need this extra oxygen right now. We really, really don't. In fact, we really don't need even this extra oxygen either. We could end up grabbing ourselves another generator, which I don't really know if I want that right now, but it would definitely help out quite a bit, because I don't know how efficient these are going to end up being when we actually use them on a vehicle, you know what I mean? So there we go. We don't need the coal either. What am I thinking? Jeez Louise. So let me just dump that right there on our storage and try to... Yeah, I'm gonna see how these generators end up operating now that we've actually got enough fuel, and start hooking them up to our vehicle. Oh, the other thing I want to do too is bring this beautiful thing back to our home base and throw some storage units on it, because for right now we're just kind of carrying all the little things. I think as soon as we can end up actually getting like a power source, you know, like continual power for our vehicle, not to mention for the base down, you know, down in the hidden place. Ew. That's not really the best, but you know what? It will work for our purposes right now, just so that we can actually get out of here and then plug ourselves in. I gotta clean up a lot of this road, like seriously. But we should be able to plug ourselves into a power source, right? Let me see if I remove this. Can I bring this vehicle up nice and close? Yeah, there we go. So that's going to end up doing, if we plug it in. Come on. Come on, you stupid game. The mouse is really messed up on this spot. Like, it really doesn't want us to actually, like, do this, does it? Come on, let me plug in. Dude, that's like not cool. It's at like a very, very specific angle. Oh, this is so dumb. Oh, there we go. So it's just hovering up in the air. All right. Well, anyways, we can actually restore our power now. We could actually do it with the back of this thing as well. But that's fantastic. That's actually great that we can do something like that. That's so efficient and so cool, because now we can actually come out here just to recharge our vehicle, right? So you know what we're gonna do? Let's actually grab a battery unit right here. Let's grab 2 battery units. Yeah, and then we'll see what we can end up mustering right here. Maybe we should grab some of these air ones, but whatever. Let's go back down to our other base and then see if we can end up... I didn't want to use our battery units on our stupid vehicle. But let's go back down to our other base here, research those other things, and probably call it a day. Still very profitable, even though most of it was just kind of explaining new discoveries that I ran into, right? Oh boy. Oh no! No, 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 no! You gotta be very, very careful in this game. The vehicles, I'm gonna have to iron out this road like a madman. The vehicles can launch like they do in Roblox. Now, if you haven't played Roblox, needless to say, you can get out of your vehicle and it just ragdolls into outer space, and then we would lose this thing and all the things that are connected to it. It's stupid, like seriously. I really hope that they end up fixing it. Why did that fall out of the front? That's not fun. Like seriously, I gotta get this TNT out of my face before it like destroys me. Seriously. Okay, so at least we can put our organics on here and research these extra things. Hopefully we can get something worthwhile out of them. We shall see. Is gonna be anything? Compound, I mean, I guess at the least we can use that when we go to the surface. But otherwise, I mean, we could just go and farm for some compound if we really wanted anyways, right? This is gonna be research. Is this gonna be a duplicate? Maybe we've got everything. We might actually have it all. That'd be pretty crazy if we did. That really, really would. Yeah, so that one ended up giving 0 blueprints as well. So I'm gonna confidently say, I think we actually have discovered all of the blueprints in the game, which is a little bit disappointing. I thought there would be a little bit more. I mean, granted, this game's early access and everything like that, but I'm wondering if there's actually, like, one of the things, and I didn't know that we would get to talking about this so soon, because I knew we would talk about this eventually. I didn't know we would talk about it now, but I want to talk about it before we end the episode, is I'm wondering how far we can actually play into this game, you know, because essentially we're going to be building up all these resources so that we can launch to another planet, so that we can kind of start all over again, unless you can end up getting new blueprints from new planets. Now, that would be very interesting if that was the case, but we'll have to discover that another time. However, I do think that we're getting very, very close to launching off the world, though, if not in the next episode, the episode after that, because there is still a couple things that I want to mess around with, especially now that we've got our truck. But either way, this ended up working perfectly, by the way, because we can use this compound to make our smeltery. I'm going to do that. Anyways, thanks so much for watching, everybody. Very much appreciated. I'm going to try and cut this episode's length down just with editing and stuff like that, but otherwise it might just be a longer one. Either way, thanks so much for watching. Do not forget to like, share, favorite, and subscribe for more daily content. I would very much appreciate it. Sayonara and stay epic, everybody.